What's up, everyone? So this is the long-promised Ivan on Tech in real life, guys. So this is the tech giant himself. He is a programmer. He is entering the space. His opinions are extremely valued in the space because he has knowledge. He has ideas of how to go into GitHub and analyze everything. So Ivan, how are you?
What is going on, Michael? Thank you so much for having me on your channel. Your channel is awesome. You're breaking down all of this China news, all of this news coming up. China is a very important player in this whole ecosystem, so you are a very valuable resource as well. So what are we talking about today, man?
We are talking about Bitcoin again. So it seems like we are at a crazy Bitcoin rally, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty in people's minds. We have a few things coming up in Bitcoin space. We have SegWit 2x, but that's not gonna stop Bitcoin though. See, Bitcoin is rallying despite all this FUD, and I feel like there's still a lot of tension in this market right now. So I think one topic that we do want to talk about, and we're going to talk about on both our channels, is Bitcoin a bubble? So what do you think, Ivan? What's your opinion on this right now?
So it's a very interesting question, and I think it comes down to the fact that it's very hard to value an asset such as Bitcoin. And also very interesting, I saw this video with an economist, I don't remember exactly who, but he compared Bitcoin to gold. When gold started trading freely, it was going like this, up and down, much like Bitcoin is currently. And then gold stabilized, and so he means that Bitcoin will also stabilize going forward. But that was a very, very interesting analogy, that when gold started trading freely, it was very hard to value, and we had all this crazy price action. Very similar to Bitcoin. So, and also it comes to the fact that it's so groundbreaking and no one really knows all of the use cases. I mean, currency is one use case, but you have to keep in mind that Bitcoin is a platform. It's a decentralized platform. You can build several things on it. Currency is just one application, and we still do not know all of the use cases that people will invent going forward in the future.
Exactly, and it's so hard. And we forgot one thing. This is not financial advice.
It's not financial advice.
All right, but you know what you're saying is exactly true. It's so hard to evaluate this. We have so many people who have all this technology, and they think, oh yeah, we have all these factors putting things in. But because there's so many undiscovered uses for this, Bitcoin, you have these borderless payments. I mean, have we even taken borderless payments to the max yet? We're here in New York right now. We're traveling so much, and the thing is, we need a form of borderless payment. And I don't want to carry this bunch of fiat money around. We've been seeing, we talked about that on the live stream. But the thing is, one thing that Ivan did bring up was that right now we're still working with the old infrastructure, right? So Bitcoin is new, it's decentralized, it's completely changing the way of how we do value transfers. The problem is, of course, that infrastructure for Bitcoin is not ready. And in fact, Bitcoin itself is not ready. We're going through all this drama in this space. We have SegWit 2x coming up. We have, Bitcoin Cash here. We have all these competing technologies. Right now, we're still at a point where we're trying things out. It's not really ready yet. It's like trying to do internet shopping when it was first invented. And it was so hard. There's so many things that you can get hacked and get your stuff stolen. But now, if you don't shop on Amazon, I'm going to give you looks. I'm definitely going to give you looks, man, like in Amazon or anything. So,
and also I think it comes to the matureness of the industry. So that's a common question I get. I don't know if you get it as well. And that is if forks are going to destroy Bitcoin. Because we see Bitcoin Gold, we see SegWit 2x, and so if this fork madness continues to happen, will that destroy Bitcoin? But the thing is, forks will always happen because Bitcoin is open source, is in the fundamental philosophy of Bitcoin that anyone...
We've been forking for 10 years, son!
That anyone can take the code, anyone can take the ledger and fork and create their own rules. So there's nothing we can do about it. However, what I think will happen is that people will become more knowledgeable in this space and realize that just because someone can fork Bitcoin doesn't mean that their coin is valuable. Just because you have replaced the hashing algorithm doesn't mean that you suddenly have this huge coin that is going to succeed. So that is what I think will happen, that forks will continue to happen, but people will just not care anymore because they will know what is a good fork, what is a bad fork. And of course now there is an opportunity that people are using, that people are not really knowledgeable about forks, and so even if you do some basic Bitcoin fork, it might get a lot of value, but that will end going forward, is my opinion.
I think something similar as well. I saw this book on Ivan's friend's desk, so we're going to steal it for now. Antifragile. So this book was all about inventing a new word for something that really we haven't thought about before. Because we have the word for fragile. It means if you introduce it to stress, it's going to break, right? Then we have robust, which is kind of resistant to stress. You put stress onto it, it resists it. But the thing is, there's another term, which is anti-fragile. What if it gets stronger every time its stress is introduced to it? And I think that can be applied to Bitcoin, because every time Bitcoin falls, it kind of rises back up. It might take years. I think this is one thing as well. It might take years. It might drop down to 100, 10, $5 even. It might do that, but it keeps rising back, and it has done that historically in the past. Like I said, I started cryptocurrencies really early. It was at $10. Bitcoin was at $10. It went up to 15, and I fell for it. Every banker was saying, yeah, it's a bubble. And I was like, oh yeah, I trust bankers. That's a great way forward. So I sold my Bitcoin at 15. And I've been slapping myself ever since. It's like, what the hell were you thinking, man?
Have you seen this website, What If Bitcoin?
No, I haven't seen What If Bitcoin.
So I think it's called whatifbitcoin.com, and that is that you can enter a year, for example 2010, then you can enter an amount in dollars, how much you invested back then, and then you would get how much you would have right now, how much I mean, that's a very interesting website to take a look at. But of course, at that time, it's always easy to be smart in hindsight.
Yeah.
When you are in the situation, in the moment, it's always hard to make the right decision. It's like currently there is some coin that is going to explode tomorrow, that is going to explode in a week. But it's not like you just go and buy this random coin currently, because you don't have all the information, you don't have all of the perspective you might have going forward. So that is the same with Bitcoin. When it was $15, it might have looked like a crazy bubble.
It was crazy. There was no infrastructure back then too. So what's happening now is that there is infrastructure being built. We have like these Visa cards I can use now. Bitcoin Visa cards 10x. We've been trying to use that. There's Monaco coming up. There's all these competing guys trying to make use of that, and it's competition. The thing was, with every competition, there's going to be failure. I think it's important to remember that we are going to fail. Some projects will fail, and that is important to remember. That is part of the process. I don't like failure, and I failed my startups in the past, and it feels freaking sad. The problem is we will have to fail sometime in order to succeed. It's like how the internet went through this phase of the internet bubble. The same thing is going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen to Bitcoin. We're going to keep having these falls, and every time we fall, we're going to come up stronger. We have the HODL culture now, where we just hold on to dear life with our coins, or just hold on. It's that culture that comes cropping up after every time Bitcoin crashes, and it crashes so often. There's so little regulation in this space. It's back to the Wild West. You can't trust anyone. Don't trust Ivan. Don't trust me. No one. You should trust at multiple sources. You should trust yourself. This is all about you. Trust in yourself and being your own guide in this. I think it's important to remember that. Trust multiple sources and really just look at this technology for what it is.
Man, that was an awesome ending you got there. Very motivational. So guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ivan. I run the Ivan on Tech channel.
He is the best. Ivan on Tech channel. Like, if you guys want to learn about how things work, and his best series, how to program Solidity. So we're gonna have a Ethereum video up soon, either on my channel or his channel, and we're gonna talk about different things as well. And he teaches you. Like, I learned how to program on Solidity from this guy. So Ivan on Tech, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all the advertisement, Michael. You're awesome. I have advertised you on my channel as well. Exactly. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Remember to subscribe, notification button.
Bell button.
Bell
Very
button.
Important.
Cheers.